Vibe Show 97.9. What it do? What's going down, man? We got an exclusive tonight, man. I'm telling you, y'all been waiting on this one right now, and guess what? It's going down, man. We got a artist, producer, and songwriter. We got a triple threat, man, that's going to be in the building. I'm telling you, it's going down. Not only that, but this brother is educated as well. You know what I'm saying? So we got an exclusive, man. I've been waiting on this one. I can't wait to talk to this brother. And guess what? It's getting ready to go down right now. I guess y'all wondering who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one, the only, All Day J. What's happening, man?
Nothing else, man.
Oh, man, listen. How you living, man?
I'm living good, man. As good as I can in the circumstances, you know. How you living?
Hey, man, I just try to stay smiling, my brother, man, because I you know, in the midst of everything that we're going through, I look at the blessings of it all, man. We still here, we still living, man. You know what I mean?
You gotta look at it that way.
Got to, man. Listen, I appreciate you allowing us this opportunity, my brother, to rock out with you because I tell you what, you're doing major things, man. One second, man. 1 second. All right. Now, man, listen. I tell you, 2020 has been it's been crazy, man. And I know it's been crazy for you, definitely as an artist. You know what I'm saying? It's been difficult, but what I noticed is you still been doing your thing, man, and you done found ways to still do your thing. And I think that's been the ultimate test of it all is finding ways to still sustain,
right?
You know what I'm saying, and continue to keep your brand alive. You know what I mean? So we're gonna jump this thing off, man. And again, from me, the Vibe team, the Plug Star team, Jacqueline Yvette PR, man, we want to thank you so much for this amazing opportunity, man, to hang out with us for a little while.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We try to bring the dopest people, man, on this platform right here. And you definitely qualify as one of the dopest, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, you from Freeport, Illinois, living in Chicago. Napper, is that Naperville or Naperville? Naperville, yeah. Naperville, Illinois, man. Never been to Naperville. Like, tell me a little bit about
My bad. Out for a second. You said tell you about what?
Tell me a little bit about Naperville, man. Like, what's the culture like?
Naperville it's a suburb of the Chicago area. You know, you got the Chicago city, but then you got all the suburbs around it and those separate cities. So it's one of them cities about probably 30 minutes outside of like downtown Chicago. But I went to Aurora University, which is about 25-30 minutes from here in Naperville.
Right.
And so that's why I kind of like moved out this way because it's a little closer to the city. Right. It's a little more going on out here. It's definitely a college town. North Central College is a school out here in downtown Naperville. Mm-hmm. And other than that, man, it's just an area with a lot of you know college students, obviously, a lot of businesses and things like that. But I made the move from here to Aurora just to get a little bit closer to the city, you know, because you know as far as the music scene and as far as the hip hop culture, you know, you definitely want to be as close to the city as possible, if not in the city.
Right. Absolutely. I definitely understand and get that. You know, another thing that really impressed me about you is that, you know, you're actually a college graduate, man, you know, and also a collegiate athlete. Now, with that's really impressive, man. You know, now I would like to know, you know, because you didn't really start really like diving really into your music craft to after you got the graduation stuff out of the way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, which is very, very impressive. A lot of people don't really take that route. Let's talk about that because that was one of the things that really stood out to me when I really started really, you know, doing some back research on your story.
Mhm.
That really stood out to me a lot, because like I say, a lot of youngsters, they don't really take that route. It might start off on that path, but once they get a taste of that music, they kind of like just, kind of put the educational side of it to the side. But
Right.
you actually got something solid to fall back on, as well. So let's talk about those decisions, as a young man.
Mhm. Well, I did. I started doing music, early in my life because my dad rapped and produced when I was a kid. So I was doing music growing up as far as making beats and rapping. I would say I was most heavily into, other than right now, I was most heavily into rapping in high school. I had a group with my friends. We was called the Track Stars. So we would record songs. We would put them out on Facebook. That's when Facebook was first popping.
Right.
And we had some shows, around Freeport and at the school and things like that. And as I got older and was about to go to college, the music kind of took a back seat because of the sports. I was a two-sport athlete. I played football and I ran track.
Wow.
So the music kind of took a back seat to the sports. And so when I went to school, towards the end of high school, beginning of college, I was more focused on the sports than anything. The music was just kind of something I did every now and then.
Right.
But my second or third year in college is when I started to pick back music back up and take it seriously again.
Right.
And so I was able to, graduate. And then once I graduated to really dive into music and start taking it seriously. But I've been doing music forever. It was just, you just kind of took a backseat to the sports because that's the period I was, in my life. But once I got to the end of college and then the graduation, that's when I really started to pick back up and get serious into it.
Right. And would what did your parents want for you? Because I'm pretty sure that they're proud of you. What were they saying, as far as your decision making? How much influence did they have on a lot of those decisions that you were making early on?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I didn't have a choice. I was going to college no matter what. I was fortunate to play sports in college, but both my parents are college educated, and they seen the importance of me, going to school, and so I was gonna go to college no matter what. I guess maybe if I was more serious in music and I blew up when I was 18 or something, maybe I wouldn't have went to school.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really have a choice. I was gonna go to college. I just happened to be an athlete and played sports in college.
Wow.
And, my parents definitely, growing up and definitely as I got into high school, made sure that I was on the track to go to college and to get into college and all that.
Right. That's dope. Shout out to your parents, man, for for really keeping the hammer down on that, because I feel like, as a young man, I feel like, being educated and have, because with music, music is like, it's like playing dice, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not a guarantee that you're gonna make it, even if you're super dope.
Mm-hmm.
That don't necessarily mean that you're gonna, pop and blow up, or be the next, or be Lil Baby, be in the space that Lil Baby and a lot major influences on the younger generation. That don't mean that might happen to you, because everybody's story and journey and opportunities are different. I feel like everybody have their season and their time to make it. So I think that that's really a blessing that you have an educational background to fall back on as well. At what point though would you say that that you decided that you really wanted to take the music serious? Because I'm not gonna lie, listening to your music, you definitely sound seasoned, from the tracks, also with the lyrics as well, because I'm pretty big on lyrics. I like a good sound as well, but I'm also a lyric guy, man. Like I listen to the lyrics, and I don't like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I like good music, but I do like to. I feel like, making good songs is one thing, but being able to master the art of making a good song and still giving the audience a little bit of you, um your story, because I think that as your career grows, I think that the fans should be able to grow along with you and learn more about you. You
Right.
shouldn't just give it all to them, but I feel like in order for them to really connect with you, I think that you should share some personal experiences, because that's what music is all about. Because somebody else, I like to connect with it because it might be something that I went through too that I'll connect with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
How important as an artist is it to you with actually putting out good music and not just putting some stuff together?
It's the most important thing. I put a lot of time into making my music, especially since I'm producing most of it too. You know, so I'm building stuff up from the from the first sound a lot of the times, and I feel like um, in an era where it seems like a lot of the subject matter and a lot of the content is the same, I feel like just by putting them extra lyrics, them extra meaning behind your music, you not only you're gonna do two things: A, you're gonna have good music, and B, you really gonna set yourself apart because you know that everybody's not doing that now. I feel like, you know, maybe in earlier hip hop, it was more content based and it was less about, you know, the beats and the hook and more about the lyrics. But I would say that's the most important thing. Like, you know, it's kind of a game where people looking to chase hits now, and
Right.
you know, you kind of always doing that to an extent. You know, if especially if you're not at the level you want to be. But
Mhm.
I just feel like it's important to not only stay true to yourself, but to, you know, put the music before anything, because you know a hit song, it might be, you might be hot this year, but it might not be hot next year. But the real good music is gonna be hot forever.
Right. You know, I definitely agree with you on that. And with because like right now, you know, the sport of the entertainment business is very competitive now, with everybody having so much access to be able to get in a way,
Right.
or become an artist or whatever. It's, you know, I feel like, you know, with you know, social media, you know, people having so much with music software and stuff like that being so accessible and so easy to put together, you know, because I come from more of the equipment side of it,
Right.
before the softwares and stuff like that, you know, the boards and you know what I mean, the MPCs and I
Yeah.
come from the hardware side of it into the, you know, the software side of it as well. But the game is definitely oversaturated,
Mhm.
uh, because everybody wants to be an artist these days. Everybody's an artist, and everybody's whatever they want to be these days, because social media, you can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
But and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, you know, because I connect with all of the music, you know, because I've been in this business for a while, man, and I just love music, period, especially good music.
Mhm.
But you know, with it being so competitive, what was your blueprint and your plans or thought process with being able to put All Day J in a lane of its own, the brand?
Well, like you said, it is oversaturated because, you know, it's so easy to create a song. I mean, you really just need a laptop. You know,
Mhm.
you can create a song. So I just try to be as original as possible as far as not only my content, as far as my lyrics, but also like my beats. You know, to have control over beats, or even if I find a beat that I like that I didn't produce, if I got the stems, I can kind of put my own like spin on it. So I think like originality is like my main priority to set myself apart, because you know, it's a plenty of dope artists out here, but like I said, like just listening to, if you just turn on the radio or you just saying what's hot, like it's not that everything sounds the same or anything like that, because it's so many different artists. It's just like everything is like in the same lane, and it's a lot of the same subject matter. And so I think just by just being who I am in this game, just really sets me apart originality wise. And then, like I said, just having that control over the production side as well. Because, you know, if the beat grab you, you might not even like what I'm saying, but if the beat grab you, you might go download the song. So just having those two aspects to really have control over and to bring my originality to the forefront.
Right, man. Very well put. Very well put. I'm checking you out, Jay. I'm checking you out, my brother. Um, now with being a producer, because I'm a producer as well. Um, and I feel like, producers are special people, man. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a producer and an artist, and I used to be that as well. And I feel like it's a little bit more passion. We're more passionate. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know exactly what you said.
We're more passionate about our music a little bit more, because I think it's a different feeling when you're actually creating the entire ambiance of the project,
Right.
From the ground.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? From that thought, as opposed to an artist coming in, picking out some beats, and then putting something together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just a different type of feeling. Was the love of being a producer, was that first for you, and then you kind of picked up the pen as well, or was it like a double entendre for you?
Um, I would probably say producing first, because I was making beats before I was rapping
Uh-huh.
as much.
That's nice.
And then, like you said, I started on the MPC too. So I watched it go from the MPC over to the software, where it's easier to do things like sampling. I remember putting the record exactly where you wanted to sample at, and pressing the key and all that. And now you just cut up the song where you want to cut it up.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely producing came first, but it wasn't like while I was producing for a long time, and then I started rapping. Rapping was shortly after.
Right.
But like you said, I definitely have that passion in like every song I make, just because most of the time you're creating it from the ground up. You're starting with the one sound, and then you develop it into the full beat. And now you got a full beat. Now you writing the first lyrics, and then you develop that into the full song. So not many people are really there for that entire process. Like you say, a lot of people, especially with beats so easily accessible now, is just getting their beats, making their songs, recording it, and that's it.
Right.
But definitely producing was probably first, and then I would say rapping came after.
Right. As a producer, how I had a problem, man, at one time when I feel like the value of the producer over the course of years have slowly been desecrated, man, down to been devalued. Because it's to the point now to where people are actually giving beats away pretty much, $50 beats, which you really don't own that beat. But I just feel like things got a little bit complicated a little bit, because it's like, you get in a situation to where you're leasing the beat out to 1,600 people, and then somebody, has that beat and wants to buy the exclusive rights to the beat or whatever, but then somebody still got a mixtape song with that same beat on it. I think that it takes away from the specialness of it all when things like that happen. And I've talked to several artists who've been in situations where they fell in love with beats, leased the beat, fell in love with it, came up with something super amazing, went back to buy that beat, got the rights to it. The producer just sold them rights to the beats or whatever, and then they went through the process of getting it put out there, doing the whole thing or whatever, and then somebody in the message is like, man, I heard that beat, man. Such and such created got a song on that. Like, how does that affect you? Just knowing how accessible it is now, and how the as from the producer's aspect, it's not as valued as it used to be.
Yeah, that really is the game right now. As far as the beat leasing, YouTube, and you got sites like BeatStars and stuff like that. You need $30 to lease the beat, just to get the MP3 file. You can come back and buy the exclusive later, but by the time you come back and buy it, 1,000 people might have got on that beat. So it definitely, it's definitely not as special. I know me as an artist, I almost don't even want to touch a beat if I know somebody else rapped on it.
Like,
I know there's been a limited amount of people, but I almost don't even want to touch it because, like, I don't know. I'm just that's type of artist I am. Like, if I know somebody else got on that beat, it's like I don't even want to touch it no more. But then you got some people that come to the studio, a beat that got 3 million views, and they like, pull it up, I'm gonna rap to it too.
yeah.
So I would just say it depends on the artist, but I would say just connecting with producers is the combat to that. Even if that producer is leasing beats, because they got their contact information, whether it's on social media where you find it or you find it on YouTube, they got their contact information. And I do make most of my own beats, but I do get some outside production too. And the beats that I am getting from outside production, I'm reaching out to those producers when I first initially liked the beat, like, yo, I'm interested in buying this beat. Please let me know if anybody tries to buy this beat, and then just connecting with them outside of that too, not just when you're interested in the beat. Just I really want to work with you. I like your beats, because then that producer may end up sending you some beats that they necessarily didn't post.
Right.
And so now you got access to the beats that they didn't post, and so even though the producer has been devalued, I feel like it's more opportunities. The producer's been devalued in the sense that they're not getting all the credit, but the producers have came up in the sense that it's producers out here that you never even heard of that's getting crazy money because they leasing so many beats a month and they selling so many beats a month off YouTube and off BeatStars. So I would say producers are more like empowered than ever, but they also getting less recognition than ever just because of the era we live in. But like I said, to combat that, I would say it's just connecting with producers. If you subscribe to this person on YouTube and you like 10 of their beats, reach out to them, tell them you like their beats, tell them you want to work with them, because then that prevents the issue of you getting a beat, rapping to it, now you like it, and they didn't lease it to a million other people, or somebody already bought the exclusive rights. And that's another thing about exclusive rights too. I tell a lot of artists that I work with as far as like producing for and recording for, like, if you like a beat, try to buy it as soon as possible, or if not, at least reach out to the producer and let them know that you're interested in buying it. That way you don't really fall in love with the song and now you can't even use it because somebody else owns it.
Right. That tied into like my next question. As far as, to me, that's developing, you know what I mean? Because the development side of it, is the relationship with the producer and the artist. I feel like that's so important. But, some of the greatest artists, because the blueprints have already been laid out already. And I feel like a lot of younger artists, not really connecting with the blueprint. I'm what I'm feeling from you, your energy and the vibe that I'm getting from you. You're a student. You're a student to this game, to this music game. I could tell by the lingo and the language. You study the game, and I think that that's important, because the relationship with the producer and the artist, it has to be there. That's how you develop chemistry. And I feel like a lot of the greatest artists to date, if you listen to their projects and things that they're putting together, they have relationships with the producers that's on their projects. That's why their stuff sound so good. Because they're not really cheating the steps. It's a process with developing great material. And great material might be touched by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different people. This engineer over here, this person might add some keys in it, this person did, this person good. Everybody's an expert at what they do or whatever, because the object of the whole thing is to create the best material possible.
Right.
And I don't think that like with you, how important is it for you with getting your stuff mixed and mastered? And I know we try as much as we can to master the art of every same time. You do have people that specialize in it.
Yeah.
How important is that for you?
Mixing and mastering is that's probably like what keeps me up, as far as like, because so much of how people receive your music is how it sounds. There's certain albums and certain songs, just like not even the beat specifically or the word specifically, just how it sounds is what makes you like it so much. And so I'm constantly looking to get a better sound out of my music. I am into engineering. I do a lot of my own mixing, at least initially, before I take it somewhere and make sure everything is on point and where it needs to be. But that's something I'm definitely into. I'm definitely not as far as on the engineering as I am as far as producing and rapping, but that's something I have been into over the last few years, just trying to get my music to sound as good as it can possibly sound. Because like I hear, let's say I hear a Lil Baby song, and I'm not even, the first time I listen, I'm not even listening to necessarily, the words or anything. I want to know, I'm listening to how it sounds, and I'm like, how do I get my music to sound this good on everything, whether it be headphones in the car or anything. And so that's like, I would say that's like something that, I'm constantly striving for, along with becoming a better producer and a better rapper, is just achieving that sound for my music to be up there with, anything that's out, competing with, anybody that's out. And, obviously, artists that signed, artists that got a lot of resources and things like that, they got access to the best engineers and the $1 million studios and things like that. But you look at some people and they've recorded in their bedroom or on a tour bus or something, and they still get that sound. So it's possible. It's just really getting it to there. And then as far as you were saying with the producers, I feel like just this year alone, we've seen like a resurgence of artists working with one producer. Like I feel like the best projects I've heard this year have come from one artist working with one producer. Like Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo is one of my favorite projects this year, and that's Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist produced all the songs on there. And then the Butcher album, Proof, that's one of the best albums I heard this year. That's all Hit Boy. And so I feel like, and then I think Nas' album is produced by a Hit Boy as well. And so I think we're seeing like a resurgence of artists really locking into the studio with one producer. And that helps you with your sound too. That goes back to the engineering, especially if you got everybody in there or you got one engineer that you're working with that's on the same page and know how you want your music to sound. I think everything just comes out better. But engineering is definitely something that's like a top priority for me, just making sure my music sounds as good as it possibly can. Because at the end of the day, whether you an independent artist or you a signed artist, you competing for the same listeners. If you listen to 10 songs a day when you come home from work, I'm competing with the artist you listening to too. So I'm trying to get a spot for you listening to one of my songs. So I need my music to sound just as good as theirs, so that you don't hear it like, oh, this sound way quieter. This don't sound as good as that. I'm gonna turn this on. So engineering and mixing and mastering is definitely one of the things that I emphasize as far as my music goes.
Absolutely. What is it about the process of creating music that you would say that you love the most?
I would say it's changed over the years. I really used to be into making beats. I love sampling. I still do love sampling, but I was really fascinated by sampling. And so finding a good sample and really flipping that into a really good beat was at one point my favorite part of the process. So I would say just producing overall. But now I would say it's songwriting. I like getting beats and figuring out just different ways to come on it, just finding different flows, different cadences, different pockets, or just subject matter, just rapping or something like that about something I'm not necessarily hearing as far as the stuff that's out. And so I would say definitely songwriting right now is my favorite part of the creative process. But I love the whole thing from beginning to end, just from producing all the way up into getting it mixed and mastered. And because I even before I start the song, or at least when I got the beat, I have a vision in my head of how I want this song to sound. Mm-hmm. And so I'm constantly trying to achieve that vision of how I want the songs to sound, or at least get it as close as possible.
Absolutely. All Day J, was that the name that you came in the game with, or that name came within the process of growth?
That was the name I came in the game with. My dad actually gave me that nickname when I started rapping in high school. Me and my friends used to rap, and so we was all thinking of rap names. And so All Day J is what we landed on for me. It was just because I made beats all day, play sports all day, rhyme all day, whatever. And so that's how we came up with All Day J. And so as the music, even as I wasn't doing music as heavy, it was still kind of my nickname. Like when I was in school, my friends and stuff, they called me All Day. so it kind of developed into just a regular nickname, but that's definitely always been my name as far as rapping goes.
Right, right, and that's organic. That's organic. You know what I mean? You just kind of carried it, and it kind of, you know what I'm saying, integrated into, the artist form of it, and into the music business as well. I think that that's dope. Um, as a young man in this entertainment business, how important is the business side of it? Because you know the music is the easiest part. Making beats and stuff. You're at a level now, that you probably could whip up a beat in 5-10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, you at that level. I could tell. um Vibes, man, are very important to me, and I'm a producer, so
Mhm.
I know that for sureness, and that confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
um but how, at this level of the game, how important is the business side of it? Because you're at a point now to where it's bigger than just creating something dope, riding around in the car with your friends, jamming it, or you rushing out listening to it or whatever. Sometimes you could get stuck in that.
Hmm.
How important is it for you to learn the business side of things, to learn how to make money off of your product?
It's the most important thing for any artist, because if you look at it, that's how you see major artists in situations where they contract not right, or now they suing a label or they manager or whoever for this amount of money that they was owed because they wasn't they don't know they was owed that money. So I would say the business part is the most important part of the music business, because if you don't know your business, you don't know how you're supposed to get paid, when you're supposed to get paid, who's supposed to pay you, and so then it's just a hobby, really. Um, and I feel like so many artists is uneducated about the music business, and I think it's important to make sure that your music is registered, your music is copyrighted, and because if you don't got your business order, you can make the hottest song ever, it could blow up tomorrow, you're not gonna see no money off of it. So I think the business side is something that needs to be more important for, I mean, not only me, but just any artist out there that feel like they want to do music seriously, because like I said, if you don't do your music business, then you can't get paid, and it make you an easy target to get taken advantage of. So somebody want to sign you, or somebody want to manage you or something like that, and you don't know where how your split's supposed to be set up as far as the writing credit, producing credit, the copyright, the publishing, and things like that. Now you're getting cheated out of money you don't even know you're getting cheated out of. And then so it just goes like that. The business, I would say, is the most important thing, because over the years, you just see artist after artist, contract disputes, label issues, things like that. Because they come from nothing, or they just uneducated about the music business. They got a hit song, they got signed. Obviously, if you broke and somebody offer you $1 million contract or something, you gonna jump at that. Not even knowing what the paperwork looked like or nothing like that. So I would say it's definitely the most important thing. The show business is 90% business, 10% show.
Hey,
So just knowing the business, and knowing your business as far as having your music registered, copyrighted, knowing how you're supposed to get paid, knowing where your money is coming from, things like that is the most important thing. Because if not, you're just making music.
absolutely, absolutely, man. Great answer, man. Great answer. Oh man, I love it, man. Now, the pregame EP. Let's talk about that. Was that sort of like a warm up for Hovercraft?
That's exactly what it was. Well, I won't say it was a warm up specifically for Hovercraft, but it was just a warm up in general, as far as introducing the world to my sound, kind of who I am as an artist. Before then, I just released a couple singles, so that's the first like project I released, and so it was real short. Just 3 songs that we felt real confident in, and just wanted to get that out there to just kind of introduce the world to my sound. Jordan Year was really successful. That was the most successful off the pregame EP. But as far as the reception, people was rocking with all the songs. I got people telling me Those Nights is their favorite song. People telling me Keep It a Stack is their favorite song, even though Jordan Year ended up being the most successful.
I
But
like
really just an introduction to who I was. And then, Hovercraft is my first full length project. And so it felt good to finally get that first, full project out with, 11 songs on it, because pregame was so short. It was just an intro.
right. When it comes down to because it's different layers when it comes down to this music business and being an artist and building a brand. Um, you know, and creating a budget
Mm-hmm.
around your brand as well, because like I said, it's different layers when it comes down to being an artist and creating the product is one layer, but then you got the marketing layer, the promotion layer, the packaging layer, and having a team in position. How important are those elements for you, and do you have those elements in position as far as a team? And are do you have a complete team, or you are in the building process of it?
I would say I'm still in the building process. I definitely have people around me as far as my manager and people like that that's helping me through the process, but I won't say I have like a complete team yet. But the budget, is definitely important because you have to market your music, especially now when everything is driven by social media and clicks and likes and things like that. And so I remember one of my good friends and people that helped me out when I was first getting into the music, Chill, from the Nerve DJs, always used to say, small budget is okay, but no budget, you can't do no budget.
Right.
Even if you got $100, if you got $100 to put into your song, how are you going to get the most out of that $100 that you put into your song? And then when you release your next song, if you got $100 again, how you going to take the information that you learned from your first $100 and then apply it differently to help you get more traction off this song? Obviously, if you got $20,000, it's easy to market, it's easy to get streams and things like that. Most people ain't got that. So, but whatever you do have, just having that budget and having that plan to promote and market your music. So if you say, I got $1,000, I'm gonna spend this much on a video, I'm gonna spend this much on ads, I'm gonna spend this much whatever, and then you just go from there. You put that into, that's better than having nothing and just putting your music out and just letting it be. So even if you got that, you can take that, and then what you can do is just learn from that, and then see what worked, what didn't work, regroup, and then apply it to your next single or your next project. But one thing I learned when I first started getting into the music game seriously is you got to have a budget, even if it's small. Like I say, even if it's $100, you just got to have some type of budget to really promote and push your music, especially in today's era, when if you're not popping on social media or some type of forum like that, or a blog or something like that, then it's really hard for you to really gain traction and get anywhere.
Absolutely, man. And that's with the game changing. You know what I'm saying? Going more into the digital world.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I feel like it's a little bit it's a little bit harder. You know what I mean? In a way, with having access to the world, the thought of that sounds great.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of it, when you're actually in the game and you're actually doing it, you know what I mean? You're actually really trying to pursue a music career. You find out that it's not that easy to even reach the world with having the world in your hand on that computer, which is your phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's still hard to reach everybody because, like I said, it's so many different layers. And now everybody in the entertainment business is hustling. There's so many different layers to it. You got people over here that they got playlists. You got to pay for that. You got you know what I'm saying? It's so many different things to it. Now it's like I feel like it's not as organic as it used to be, because it's like, just because the perception of it all it's more of creating a perception damn near more than the music itself. The perception of creating this look, or creating, making it seem like, you really own and popping
Yeah.
the whole perception of it all, because it's like, seem like those are the ones that's getting the numbers, or you can buy numbers now. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know what's organic these days. So it's kind of like you gotta, kind of pick your paws and kind of figure out, what you like and what artists you like. It's because there's so many different artists out there, and there's so many different people who look like they own and not really own like that. And then, but then you got artists like yourself who really got good music, you know what I mean, who really going through the step process of it, really trying to create a lane and build organic fans and go through, do press when you got projects out and stuff like we're doing right now. This is definitely going to help, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because all of this goes on your resume. The more stuff that you do, the better your resume look when you're actually presenting your music to different people that's in position that could push the button on you.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, in your position, how important is it with connecting with a label, plugging in to the machine in some form, way of fashion? Is that something that you interested in, or is that a part of the goal, or you're trying to quote unquote, like everybody is kind of lying, saying that they're all the way independent?
I would say it just depends on how it happened for me, and I feel like it depends on the situation you're in, because especially when you're talking about labels, it's about leverage. And so I would say, if a label discovered me now at the level I'm at now, then yeah, that's probably something I would want, because I feel like I'm relatively unknown. So I would want to get with that label and have them get me that exposure and get me into these playlists, onto these radio stations, into these rooms with people that could really, push my music to the next level. But if 6 months from now I had a hit song, and my song was streaming, doing millions of streams, and I was quote unquote getting on without the label, then that's something where I might either hold off or just say forget the label altogether, because I feel like in this era, like, artists are more empowered than ever and more in control of their own destiny than ever. Like, you don't necessarily need the label to get to where you want to be. I feel like in past eras, you did need that label to get to where you want to be. It was hard to do it independent, and it is harder to do it independent now than it is to just plug into that machine. But I feel like if you had the leverage of already having a hit song, and I feel like I probably wouldn't sign to a label, or I would at least hold off to see how far I can take it before I did sign to a label. Just because, it's really no replacement for ownership, owning your own masters, being in control of your own content and how you want to move. But like I said, if I was in a situation where a label approached me now, or sometime like in the near future, where I didn't necessarily have that hit song or that song to put me on now, or that leverage of to say, well, I have this hit song, so I want this amount of dollars, then yeah, I would probably look into signing a major label. But if everything went ideal, I would probably try to stay independent if possible, and just sign like through some, as far as distribution, because if you can get somebody to distribute, now you can reach more places as far as distributing your music, while still being quote unquote independent, as far as owning your music and things like that.
Right. you know in 2020, things have changed, man, as we knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And being a young black man, um does it feel weird for you, um as opposed to last year, being able to move around kind of freely a little bit, mentally, from a mental aspect, without those thoughts of you know anything other than just keeping yourself safe,
Mm-hmm.
not being feeling like a target in any type of way? And this year it just seems like it's been more than before, than ever before. as an artist and as a young man of color, how have it made you feel, or how have you been feeling? Are you more guarded mentally, in the way that you're moving, and more reserved with decision making? Um, what's all day Jay's thought process in 2020 right now?
Well, 2020, I guess, brought to us, obviously COVID. And I feel like safety is the most important thing. So, it's not a good feeling to not be able to go to shows, to not be able to network, and to go to these different events that, as an artist, may take you to that next level, or introduce you to a person that you may get with to take you to that next level. But I just feel like safety is the most important thing. I feel like, um, you could go to a show and it might be good, but like, what sense is it if you get COVID? And me being a younger person, I might not be at risk of dying or anything like that. But how you gonna forgive yourself if you give it to somebody else that can't survive it, that got a pre-existing condition, or your grandma, your grandparents, or your parents, or something like that. So I feel like, yeah, I would love to go to shows, I would love to go to these events, but the benefits just don't outweigh the risk as far as COVID. And then as far as me being black and everything, George Floyd, we all know that's been happening. George Floyd was just a straw to break the camel's back. And so I would say I don't feel any differently than I did prior to this year, as far as being a young black man, living in America, just, traveling, the world, and, moving around the Chicago area and things like that. I would just say it's bringing a lot more awareness, because, the unfortunate passing of George Floyd did spark something, in people, to start having these discussions, to start, looking in the mirror, to start saying, no, we're not going to deal with this anymore. And so, mentally, yeah, it has been a taxing year, with all of that going on, just, being a black person in general, but definitely being, a young black man. But as far as the COVID and things like that, I just feel like, the benefits don't outweigh the risks when it comes to safety and things like that.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. Well, Hovercraft is that's out.
That's out.
And the reception has been well. Great project.
Appreciate it.
All well-rounded project. We loving it over on this side, and I think that your I think that your brand is heading in the right direction, because your sound, and with you being a producer, I think it gives you a slight edge on a lot of artists out here that's not crafting the majority of their material from the ground like that.
Right.
And I think that that's why your music sounds different to me, because like I say, I come from the production world as well, and it's a different ear. We look at things different, we hear things different. You might wake up, I'm pretty sure this to happen, you might wake up out of a dream and go make a beat. You heard something, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different. So I have a different type of appreciation for your project, and I really appreciated the whole thing, man.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it.
Absolutely. What I would like to stay connected with the progress, and we would like to stay connected to future projects and things that you have going on. We would love to have you back on the show to stay plugged in. So we would like to be on that media list whenever you're making another run. We want to be on that list. Come on back by the vibe, man, and bring us that. But I want the exclusive next time, now, Jay. I want it last. I want to have it before it's about to drop. You know what I'm saying? So I can really stun on them and talk crazy to them, like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is exclusive, man. Look, nobody know how this right now. DJs, nobody. We finna drop this Vibe Joe exclusive, and it's going down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you, man. I appreciate you having me, and I definitely will stop by on my next visit.
Before we get out of here, man, let's get some shout outs, man. And for all of the people that's behind the scenes, that's working hard that's connected to your brand, and all the people that's been, your support, your fans, let's get these people their flowers, man, and show them some love right now by shouting them out.
Oh yeah, man! Shout out to my manager, Rod. Shout out to my whole Me and Mine team, Dion. Shout out to Boy, who's also managed with Me and Mine. And just shout out to everybody that supported me. I don't care what form that's in. I don't care if that's liking my posts, streaming the album, buying merch, whatever it is, support me. Just shout out to everybody that's continue to support me as I grow as an artist, and will continue to support me. But definitely, like I said, definitely shout out to all the people behind me as far as my management. Shout out to Boy. I think you're gonna have him on here in a couple days. You're a real dope artist. And just shout out to all the artists out there, doing their thing in 2020 in this pandemic. Still grinding.
Absolutely. Also, too, let's put those social platforms out there in ways that people can connect, and anything else that needs to be plugged in as far as future projects, anything that you could kind of share with us, drop some secrets or anything like that. That you got some upcoming stuff. I feel like you got some surprises or something coming. I'm trying to see if I can get something out of you, my brother.
I definitely got some upcoming music. It's coming, real soon. I'm constantly working on it. I'm at hard work working on it, making sure it's better than Hovercraft, much better than Hovercraft. That's all is my thing. Just I gotta get better. I gotta make a better song. I gotta make a better project. But as far as my social media, you can follow me at every social media at I'm All Day J. That's IMALLDAYJAY. I'm on all music streaming platforms. Just search All Day J. That should pull up all my music. And then you can also go to alldayj.com. All my content will always be there.
Absolutely. My brother, before we get out of here, I know we just touched on it, but for anybody, man, it's definitely been a rough year. And anybody that's been a lot of people lost jobs, a lot of people lost loved ones, a lot of people, got loved ones in the hospital sick right now, fighting for their lives or whatever. A lot of people out of jobs, man. It's just been crazy. A lot of artists can't move around. A lot of people down in spirit right now. Can you give them some words of uplift and encouragement, man, before we get out of here?
Yeah, man, I would just say, it's always darkest just before the dawn, and, things get tough and things seem hopeless, and I would just say to continue to live, and then to continue to stay positive, because your mindset has so much effect on how you feeling. Things could be going the worst, as bad as they could possibly go. If you got a positive mindset, you able to get through that. And then even if you don't got a positive mindset, to just, no matter what you do, just keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep progressing. And at some point you will get through it. You will get through whatever you're going through, and we will get through this year, and, hopefully through this pandemic, and, we'll be on to bigger and better things.
Absolutely. Hovercraft is out. The single is out right now. Man, we got that Hovercraft jamming over there in an A slot right now, getting a lot of rotation over there on the Vibe Show 97.9. We jamming it, and it's in rotation. Anybody that's out there that's listening right now, you guys go over there and hit that request tab, and you can request Hovercraft up to 10 times per day. Let's run it up for my brother, man. And you can let your people know that they can go over there, and they can also request Hovercraft, man, and get that thing running up even more, because like I say, it's doing good right now. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And also too, y'all make sure that y'all go and follow my guy at I'm All Day J. He does respond back, man. And anybody that's trying to work or need some production, because you do produce as well, y'all make sure that y'all get at my guy, man. Listen, I just want to tell you, man, continue doing what you're doing, and we're wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing in your career right now, and everything you're going to be doing in the future, my brother. Skies is the limit for you. We can't wait to get you back on here again, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate you having me, and I definitely will be back when I release my next project.
Absolutely. It's the one and only All Day J. It's the Vibe Show 97.9, man. We love y'all. We out.
Peace.
need that visual. And so bad, that's residual. Don't care who offended, I said it, I meant it, that's all it is to it.
Hey, that was my special guest, the one and only All Day J, man. Listen, y'all make sure that y'all go and follow my guy right now at I'm All Day J on all platforms. Make sure y'all go and grab that Hovercraft album, man. The whole album. Go and get it, man. It is jamming. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. If you love this interview, man, listen, hit that subscribe button right now, man. Subscribe to the Vibe Show 97.9. Turn on those notifications to stay plugged in to all of the upcoming interviews that we got coming up. Also, make sure that y'all go over there to our radio station website and type in www.thevibeshow97.9, man. Surf the net, 979.net, and get plugged into the latest music. You can hear that All Day J Hovercraft right now, man, playing right now. Y'all go over there and request it and run that thing up for my guy. Also, y'all make sure that y'all download right now in the App Store the Vibe Show 97.9 exclusive mobile app available in the Google App Store. Don't play games. Don't play yourself, man. Treat yourself. I'm telling you, we got nothing but the hits playing over there. Also, y'all make sure y'all follow me at Kano the Don 2975 on IG. Yes, sir. Listen, y'all make sure that y'all stay safe out there. We appreciate all the love from all of our fans and our supporters. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. I'm your guy, the Vibe King, Kano the Don. I love y'all. I'm out.